All right. Welcome to the Medellin podcast. We're on episode 30-something. What episode are we on?
34.
34 of the Medellin podcast. My name is Andrew Macia, and we're here with Joel in the studio.
In the Red Door studio.
We've got Adriaan from Colombia Reports on today. We're very excited because we've got a lot of questions for her.
Well, you know what they say, Andrew?
What did they say?
They say if it ain't Dutch,
It
ain't much.
If it ain't Dutch, it ain't much. We got Adriaan from Colombia Reports. If it ain't Dutch, it ain't much. We got Adriaan from Colombia Reports. Welcome everybody from YouTube and Facebook Live to the Medellin podcast. We're very excited because we're quarantined and we got nothing better to do.
And make music. Great, sweet, sweet music. We are world famous in our homes. The three of us live.
Wait, what was
recording.
Adriaan's band name?
Adriaan's band? What's the name of your band, Adriaan?
Dr. Love and his imaginary band.
Dr. Love and his imaginary band. I thought them both everything they know. Welcome to episode number
34.
34.
My name is Andrew Macia, and this is the Medellin podcast. Joel?
I'm Joel Duncan. And
I was
this
going
is
to say Joel Macia.
Joel Macia Jr. I'm here too in the building. And so we introduced Adriaan. I'm saying Adriaan because it's the easy way of saying it, but he's going to go ahead in a second and introduce himself. And actually, I don't know why we waited so long to have him on the show, because in this critical time here in Colombia, I mean, a lot of folks that follow us on Instagram and on Facebook have written and said, what's going on down there? What's really going on down there with the COVID? What do you guys think is going to happen with the economy? What's the political situation? People ask me stuff like that, and I don't think we really have any factual answers because all we can see is what's going on outside of the front of our window. And Adriaan is responsible for the biggest English-speaking newspaper all online. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, check out Colombia, not with a U, reports.com. And I'm going to let him talk more about it, but he said viewership has gone up even more. And they're about at 500,000 unique viewers per month, which is a shit ton because this podcast
over the last month, like usually it's half.
Okay.
So, Adriaan, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself and your news outlet.
Oh, well, my name is Adriaan. I came to Colombia in 2008.
Okay.
Kind of like looking for a job, but there's no jobs in Colombia. And meanwhile, I started this blog called Colombia Reports, and that just turned out to be more successful than my job search.
Yeah. I remember when I got here in 2010. That was one of the blogs. That and Medellin Living were the two big outlets for life, I guess, in Medellin and in Colombia. Are you still living in downtown? I used to live in downtown, and it was near where your office is. Are you guys still over there?
Yeah. I'm still downtown.
Okay, cool.
So let's get before we go on any further, because I think it's really interesting. I don't know how somebody goes on. I mean, I remember Colombia Reports when I came, and what was Dave Lee's Medellin Living, and anything you sort of Googled, whether it's where to buy a sandwich, Medellin Living would come up, and then the more serious news came out of Colombia Reports. So just what were you? I mean, you mentioned something to me yesterday, and you said I was a garbage man, and I was like, I didn't know if that was what your group name back home, or what the garbage men were.
Maybe it's a band.
It is a band.
No, that was like one of my random jobs before I got into journalism.
Okay. So
I
what?
kind of had a sort of I kind of like coincident. Like I never wanted to be a journalist. It just turned out to be that way.
It just turned out to be that. Meaning and you became a journalist when you came here to Medellin and started this blog called Colombia Reports, or did you do that?
No, it started. It started because I was in a program for troubled teenagers.
Okay.
And I got me a government-sponsored job as a janitor at a radio station,
Okay.
a local radio station. And then I, like, while changing the light bulbs and welding the cables, I learned the whole journalism thing and thought that was quite interesting. So I taught myself journalism with the help of some mentors.
And
then I
what year
got
was
a
that?
job at a corporate newspaper,
Okay.
which I hated, and then I just got out and then went to Colombia.
Okay. And then due to the fact that you couldn't find a job when you came here, you decided to just start this blog and start reporting on, like, what are the things you used to report on back in 2008? There was no COVID. There's a lot of FARC. I know there's a lot of FARC going on. What type of things were you covering when you first started?
Well, the day I arrived was when they killed Raúl Reyes. He was like the foreign minister of the FARC.
Okay.
So like before coming here, I had set up the website already.
Oh.
And when I arrived here, they killed like the FARC's number 2.
And that was in 2008.
Yeah, and that was like when they did that bombing in Ecuador, and then I just started reporting like while looking for a job.
Okay.
And for like and then the website just took off really fast because like soon after they extradited the paramilitary leaders and then like dozens of congressmen got arrested and things got like pretty interesting like within months. It was
Right.
It was a good time to kickstart a website.
But wait, you said one thing. You said that you reported, right? Like what does that mean? Like, how do you just show up here and start reporting? Are you out in the field, or how are you actually covering this news with your blog? Are you just like reading?
Well, in the beginning, it was really more like me rehashing news that I saw in local media and I didn't see appear in the big newspapers.
Okay.
But over time, I was able to get my own sources. So like now when I'm reporting, I can pull like information from all over the place and and get it out there.
Right. For those of you guys just joining us on Facebook and YouTube, we are live Medellin podcast with Adriaan from Colombia Reports. Colombia Reports gets about 500,000 visits per month. ColombiaReports.com. Make sure to check them out. It's one of the most reliable and most up-to-date sources of English media on the internet. This is Adriaan. He's the founder. I would say chief editor of Colombia Reports. Before we get into some of the COVID questions, the coronavirus questions of what's going on here in Colombia and your take, I'd like to ask you about the Colombia Reports, the actual business and the site. So you guys are just online. It's not a print newspaper yet.
No, print is dead.
Print is dead. That's what I was getting at. And so being an online outlet, that means that you probably have a lot of writers around Colombia, or how does that work?
Well, I used to, but at one point things got a bit too I write a lot about corruption, and when you publish about corruption and politics, like people immediately see that as like political, and things just got to a point that I didn't think it was safe to be working with interns anymore, and I decided to go solo.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when was this? When did this happen?
This was like a year ago.
Okay. Just
So
because
like
you got more heavily
over
into
the past year, it's just been me.
Okay.
Okay.
Did not know that.
Wow.
And actually, just a bit of background, because I remember at one point you said you were fighting to survive, to make the paper survive. And I'm gonna Adrian and I have a bit of history, because the funny thing is there's a few people in this city who helped me out and didn't ask anything of me when I was struggling. And I remember, as many of you might know, I'm also a professional photographer. I cover the Carnival in Barranquilla every year, and I had a bunch of other things. And Adrian was the first person to give me exposure in a newspaper, and he used to publish every year. We didn't do it this year. Photos of mine from the Carnival, and that brought more traffic to me and more recognition to me, because I could say, okay, I'm on this widely distributed newspaper. And actually, some of my first press passes to the Carnival, I used to say representing Colombia Reports. As a freelancer. And I remember, and I was like, at that point, to me, even Colombia Reports is larger than life, regardless of what the number of viewers, how many viewers you had. It was like, man, this is the biggest English newspaper. So I felt honored just to be on there and see my photos on there. And we even tried selling photos on there. We tried different things, and it wasn't that part wasn't successful, but you have to try everything. And then I remember
Commercially, it's a disaster.
it's a disaster, yeah. But again, we're going to talk a bit about the money making of the newspaper, because over the years, Adrian, you wouldn't know this, but especially in the early 2 or 3 years, there were all these people that would come to me, and they're like, hey man, we see you're a photographer. We want you to help us help you. We're going to give you front page on our new magazine and our new newspaper that we're going to launch in Medellin, because they need English content. I never made it on any magazine or any newspaper because none of those people survived. Their businesses did not survive. Their nice, great, shiny magazine that they pitched never even survived. So where I'm getting at is, and I think even before we go on to the other stuff, is how is it from a profit model? Because I remember I still pay contribute to the newspaper through PayPal, reoccurring, and you have another way of that you collect funds that it's sort of like voluntary. How do you sustain a newspaper in English with such a relatively small local population here?
And that's actually quite like a critical matter at this point, because the media in general is going to enter in crisis, because advertisement is going to just dry out. Like a lot of here in Colombia, like Avianca, which is one of the biggest advertisers in Colombia, is on the brink of going bust.
Or are they?
So that's going to do a lot of damage, like with a lot of media that base their financial sustainability on advertising. And I a while ago decided that I was just not going to rely on advertisement anymore, because I just didn't see it going anywhere. I just saw it like dying slowly, like before the coronavirus, and so I switched to like a subscription model, so people could either like give a monthly contribution, like out of sympathy, or they could get extra services if they paid more.
Right.
And that turned out to be a lifesaver. Like that's what's keeping me going. And at the moment, I believe that actually puts me in if I compare myself to like my colleagues, like I believe that makes my model currently the most, let's say, pandemic
Free. Yeah. Proof.
like I'm most likely to survive this
Yeah.
one than other media.
Right, right. And in regards to what you just mentioned, you said that Avianca is on the brink of bankruptcy or of going out of business. Can you elaborate on that? I haven't heard about Avianca. Well, granted that I haven't searched either, but I haven't heard about that. But that's pretty big news that Avianca may go bankrupt because of this whole COVID.
Well, I haven't read up properly, but I did read that the companies told their the New York Stock Exchange that they were not certain if they were going to make it through this crisis.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that, I think that's like euphemism for we're dead.
You know what's really fucked up about that, Adriaan, is that I just, have lately become a Star Alliance and Avianca Gold member. And so all my gold benefits will go right out the fucking window. So I'll have to go back and fly Viva, aka Chiva Colombia, if they go out of business.
I suppose someone will buy up the company.
Right.
Saudi Arabia, maybe.
Or China.
Like someone will have the money to buy up like the skeleton of the company and restart services. But right now, like it's companies like but it's not only going to be it's not only going to be Avianca. Like we don't even know if Ecopetrol, like the state-run oil company, is going to survive because of the low oil prices.
Right. And
so like a lot of major businesses are likely or possibly just not going to survive the economic crisis.
Yeah, well, actually, with you saying that today, a colleague of ours, a friend of ours, Jose, that owns, I don't know if you've been there, but you should, Metropole. If we make it out of this, Metropole Beer Lab right here and in Provenza. I don't know if you ever come out this way a lot, but they have a lot of craft beers and make really, really good beers. And, he's also at the point where they're struggling to survive literally because his model was based on expansion in bars around the city. And they just expanded. And he sent me the Instagram of there's a local salsa bar right here by Parque Poblado called Ere. And on their Instagram today, they're showing packing everything into boxes, all the liquor and stuff on the bar. They're packing up, and that's like that place. Like when we're not in, as Jose described it, every day of the week, Ere has people, and they're literally shutting down. And what he said, it's one of the an owner that owns a lot of bars here. But he said Ere El Dec, which is popular for house and electronic music, and Chepe Cuatro, I think, four pretty popular places in Poblado. Those ones are already like on Instagram advertising that they're shutting down. And I was
No,
telling
and all the imagine how the hostels are doing.
yeah,
The whole tourism industry is
yeah,
just I don't I don't know how many hostels there were, but I don't think if I think only a few, if any, will be able to sit it out.
yeah,
Because like this regarding what's happening in Colombia, like the global tourism industry is just going to take a major hit.
Yeah.
Like if we are entering a global recession or maybe even a depression, people are going to save money on trips and holidays first.
yeah.
So the whole tourism industry in Colombia is in major trouble.
Yeah, and I guess also,
Which is sad because that was actually just starting to pick up. We kind of were going like in this development phase, through the phase where you just get all the dirty old men,
yeah,
and we were
Yeah.
starting to get families coming.
and younger old men and younger dirty men,
Younger old men.
younger old dirty men. Yeah, we're getting them. We're getting them. all.
Adriaan, I have a question for you. In Colombia Reports, obviously, the thing that you're probably reporting on the most right now is the COVID coronavirus pandemic and how that's changing our lives here. Is there anything else other than the corona and pandemic that you are reporting on a lot, or is it just all corona?
I try to diversify, although clearly the virus and the economic effects of it are just so overwhelming that it's kind of consuming most of my time.
Yeah.
Well, nobody really cares if the two-toed squirrel.
What we can expect is that the judicial system is still working, and we're still waiting for former President Uribe to go to jail, for example.
Yeah, because that's been buried. That's one of the reasons why I asked this question without making it a political question, because I thought that you would bring that up.
That's not a political question. That's a judicial.
It's a judicial question. So that's kind of been buried.
If you're like Pablo Escobar joined the Liberal Party, but that doesn't make him a politician.
He's a gangster.
So yeah, I expect. I believe that in the beginning of April, there's going to be news about the future of the greatest Colombian ever. And it's not going to look good.
Who's that greatest Colombian ever going to be?
Well, that used to be Uribe.
Right.
Well, they did a poll, and but that guy is obviously going to jail. You can only be a mafioso for so long and get away with it. At one point, they're going to catch you on something.
Right.
And that's what's happening with the Uribe family at the moment.
Can you elaborate on that? What's going on with the Uribe family?
Well, is that? I was on the front page today and checking the top of the Colombia Reports, and one of the things was I noticed, and I saw it pop up on my Facebook earlier, was about something about the governor being put on hold or stopped, and it said, I think the headline was something about corruption in COVID or COVID corruption. What is that about? I think that's what.
Since yesterday, like one governor was suspended, 7 are under investigation. The agriculture minister is going to be investigated by the Supreme Court. So the corruption taking place, like with emergency funds meant to counter the impact of the virus, is just going to like get a lot of people in legal trouble.
Yeah.
And it's truly been mind-boggling, like the robbing that's been taking place allegedly.
So how
Wait,
do you?
wait, wait. You just mentioned the robbing taking place allegedly. We had a question here from someone on Facebook, which is a pretty good question, asked by Sam, who was a former guest of ours on the podcast. He said, "What's up with all the government-backed emergency loans for business to cover nominas, which is payroll? None of the banks are offering them."
I that's another thing. The government also promised $1.5 billion, like to bolster the healthcare system, and then money never arrived. The government promised aid for small and medium sized businesses.
Yeah.
That didn't turn out to be grants or subsidies, but loans. And but the banks aren't being cooperative. Like they've actually raised their interest rates on loans. So it's really difficult for a lot of like small and medium sized businesses like to have access to the liquidity they need to continue or to restart their operations like once everything is up and running.
Right.
And which we still don't know when. Like on Monday, the government wants to restart construction and part of manufacturing. But there's chances that they're like within days, like that the healthcare system collapses and the government might like rewind again and shut down those industries again. So the entire economic future of an unimaginable number of businesses, like any kind of industry, is completely insecure.
Yeah.
And the banks aren't helping. Like they're just cashing in.
Yeah. They're just cashing in. Joel had another question.
No, well, I mean, it was sort of so I got disconnected for a second. So these governors that are being investigated right now, is that, and I missed that, is that because they're saying that they're funneling that money towards in their pockets or their friends' pockets, or what's happening?
Yeah. So the national government sent the regional governments like funds for them to buy food packages for people who couldn't work and were who were going to suffer hunger. And that money was supposed to go to 3 million people. But what happened is that a lot of governors would just inflate like the price. So they would say that I'm just inventing a number. Like they would say that like a kilo of rice was worth like $5.
Yeah.
And that way they would just get all kinds of like money like from the government and put it in their own pockets or in the pockets of the businesses that help their election campaign. Alleged.
So I have a question about that, because I've watched some House of Cards and some different shows, So I know a thing or two about this whole reporting and politics.
Oh, wow.
You know,
you know a thing or two
I know a
because
few.
you watched a show.
Kevin Spacey taught me a lot of shit. So my question, I'm being serious about this, is like, okay, so how do you, as Colombia Reports, because right now you're running this massive blog
News
by
outlet.
yourself. Well, he started as a blog. That's why I said blog. I'm fucking with him. So how do you get notified that these governors are funneling money out of the system to the needy folks into their pocket? Like, how do you get that information?
Sources.
Well, in that case, the Comptroller General sent out an alert, and then when he sent out the alert, I picked up on it and reported on it. And yesterday they held a press conference that criminal investigations were actually starting.
Wow.
And then I take that and turn that into a story.
Okay. I guess moving forward with the topics and moving forward with the COVID topic, I heard that we are here in Medellin, at least, we're going to be able to go outside and do exercise in the coming week.
Grind some reggaeton.
We can't grind. Yeah, there's no grinding.
No grinding, no reggaeton. Okay, so we're going to go out.
On Monday, the quarantine will be relaxed to the extent that you can go do like outside sporting activity for an hour a day.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if this is like this will depend like per city, because like the so-called pico y cédula things that allow like people to go outside, like depending on the last number of their ID card.
Yeah.
I believe that on those days you can go out and do like an hour of jogging or whatever it is you do.
Sex in parks. I think that's going to happen. If
Sex in parks?
people get to go out, sex under bridges, and yeah, I mean, that's probably what I would do if I got a chance to go out for an hour and do physical exercise.
Wow.
Yeah, because we've been on like a fucking state enforced celibacy.
State enforced celibacy. I
I'm
like
going to
that.
go jogging just so I can meet a girl.
I got a notebook.
If there's a local incel group, I'm joining.
yeah.
Hey, people, nobody's ever seen me
I'll
with a
jog
damn...
a fucking mile.
Man, nobody's ever seen me with a notebook on this podcast before. I don't know if it's because I'm speaking to a reporter, investigator, a corruption exposer, but I feel like I need this notepad. What did you say? A state of forced celibacy.
First celibacy. That's a
I gotta remember that line for the description of this title. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
But imagine, but like I don't know about you guys, but like it's pretty like I'm single, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to have like my girlfriends over.
Mm-hmm.
Your girlfriends?
Well, you know what I mean.
Yes, I
No, I don't know what I mean.
my girlfriends.
Hold on.
And this is like just now, like the this whole virus is going to have like very profound impact. I was watching this video the other day on, I think it was like on Caracol, like on how to have sex while maintaining social distance.
Tell us about that.
And the lady was like, well, when it comes to oral sex, you need to keep like at least a meter distance between your mouth. And I was like, well, I'm like 6'2", too, so I'll be okay. But like, I don't think the average Colombian will get a blowjob anytime soon.
Blowjob. Hey, what is that? A forced
That's the
state
first
of
time.
celibacy.
Wait, that's the first time someone said the word blowjob on the podcast.
You need an
Congrats.
award. We
High
need
five.
little
Boom.
awards, right? Like little awards for
Yeah, the
for
blowjob
yeah,
award.
blow
You get the
award.
blowjob award. So, in regards to, I had another great question from someone on Facebook, Adriaan. Do you think that this whole COVID crisis and having people, I guess, in Colombia as a whole, since we're all quarantined, everything, all the, I guess the people that don't have that much money, don't have many means, are gonna get desperate at some point, and they're gonna go out and they're gonna try to get money any way they can.
Yep.
Do you think that Colombia is gonna be more unsafe than it was before?
Absolutely, without a doubt. There, there are two important things, and that's like we have this Venezuelan migrant population.
Yeah.
And according to the World Food Program, like more than half of these people are on the brink of starvation.
Wow.
Now, I don't know about you, but if I were starving, I would start robbing people.
Of course.
I would do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly you can expect a rise in crime, but also unemployment is going to go up and may even double. Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And then you have like the best case scenario is that there will be 1.5 million more unemployed Colombians at the end of the year.
Fuck.
All these people will also not have any access to any like social benefits or whatever. So you can definitely expect a major surge in crime.
So wait,
Okay.
sorry, a few just to put
In all forms, like just street robberies, like scam stuff.
Right.
Like people are going to try to survive like whichever way.
Right.
And the political debate, like I believe that right now, like we should be talking about like a minimum vital income,
yeah.
like to prevent a massive surge in crime.
Right.
Like if we're going to like stick to like the old solutions while we're dealing with a problem that will not be solved using old solutions. Like I really think that we need to have like a public debate, for example, about like a minimal vital income, really like for the sake of security. Like if you're going to have like 1 in 10 Colombians or 1 in 4 Colombians not having anything to eat, then you're just creating like social tensions that you won't be able to control in any way.
Right.
Like you can't throw everyone who's hungry in jail.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the public and political debate that we're having is creative enough to be considering such measures, which I believe that are elementary, like for this country to have a future.
Okay. So I guess kind of what I've gathered from your answer is that Colombia could become more dangerous and probably will become more dangerous than before the COVID. It's probably
There's no doubt about it.
no
There's
doubt
no
about
doubt.
it. And it's probably not going to be as dangerous as it was in the 90s in the Escobar era. But it's going to get
Well, there's you. It's kind of weird talking about the Escobar era,
right.
um, because like a lot of times like we look at like a homicide rate.
Mhm.
Now if you look at uh, the actual crime that goes on, like I've been robbed 3 times, 4 times, excuse me, and I've been killed 0 times. So we're not necessarily going to see like a surge in the homicide rate, but that's not really the
measure,
measurement
right.
you want to be using.
Right.
And I've been over the past few days, like for example, I have been like looking for like if there was like a measure like a crime rate, for example, that included all kinds of like burglaries and la la la, and that doesn't exist. So like the whole debate about like security is based on homicide.
Homicide, right.
I don't know about you guys, but I've never been killed.
Right.
However, I have been the victim of crime.
Yeah. And to your point, the probability of us being killed is very low because we're not in a gang. We're not in a combo. We don't belong to any mafia or affiliated with any corrupt politician. So or even a regular politician or police. So the propensity for us to being killed in Medellin is super low. But the propensity for us to being robbed as foreigners who actually live in El Poblado as times get worse could go
higher.
up.
It will
because
go up.
Those are the people that get robbed.
Even more so in Poblado than where I live.
Right.
Like because I know the robbers by name. like I know where they live.
Okay.
And
We know where they live too.
here there's here's not this like people will obviously go where the money is, and here is not where the money is.
Yeah.
So like if you look at the crime rates like per comuna, like the robbery rate in Poblado and Laureles is like considerably higher than in any other part of the city, with the exception of downtown. Because obviously like people don't go robbing in poor neighborhoods because like
They'll get beaten and killed.
Yeah, they'll get killed.
There'll be some vigilante justice.
there's no profit margin.
Yeah. So
Right.
so I got a question for you. I'm gonna step to the numbers for a second because I have been, in addition to watching House of Cards and getting really deep on the politics, I've been watching a lot of news. I've watched more news than I've watched in my entire life in the last little while, and I'm a numbers person, and so there's a few things that you said. You said that these governors, right, that are under an investigation, they were supposed to give up some money to about 3 million people were supposed to receive some sort of money. So
And the program was put on hold, leaving 1.8 million people without food.
So 1.2 of them got some food.
Yeah.
And by the way,
And then like because the government program reportedly was put on hold, that's like when the mayors started coming in. So like in Medellin, the mayor started a what they call a donaton, like a charity drive, in order to get the funds like to buy food. In Bogota, they did the same. In Cali, they did the same. So then like the mayors tried to like like compensate like the money flow that dried out from Bogota.
But
And I assume like the program will resume, but I just don't know if it has already.
so I just want to the reason I asked that and the reason I said that, and that's great, is that we need to put some numbers so folks listening to this can understand. A lot of people don't even know the population of Colombia. I think we're sitting somewhere
50
around
million.
50 million. So basically what you said, and the US is about 500 million, right? We got a 10-time factor. But you said about 3 million people, of which only about a little over half received their money. We're talking about, you're saying that there was a plan.
Less than half.
Less than that, yeah. So you were saying that about, suppose
1.2 million.
1.2 million. Got it.
They received like the stipend.
So the 1.8 didn't get it. So you're saying that about 6% of the population was supposed to receive this stipend, 6%. So my question to you is, and you threw out a few numbers, you said about 1 in 4 Colombians. What I want to understand, and this is for me and this is for people listening, what based on what you've reported, what percentage of this country, even before the COVID started, was below, call it the minimum sustainable level of living, like the poverty level? What's the poverty level in Colombia on a normal?
I believe that I could be a few percentage off,
Okay.
but I believe that 27% of the population was living under the poverty line.
And what does under the poverty line mean?
Yeah, that's a good question, because like that every country defines like their own poverty line, and in Colombia they've been like kind of like playing around with it a bit, so that like for example, last year I went from lower middle class to upper class.
Bourgeois.
Just changed like the threshold.
Definition, yeah.
Right.
And so it's just hard to say. Like I know that in Medellin, like 1 in 3 people doesn't have enough money for 3 meals a day.
1 in 3 people
Yeah.
do not have enough money for 3 meals a day.
Yes, and this was like pre-COVID. So imagine.
Wow. Imagine what it is now.
So the reason I'm making this really, like, I'm trying to call this out is that it's a point that I'm gonna go between your American name and your Dutch name, Adriaan and Adriaan. But
Just say Adriaan. It's easy.
I like Adriaan, man. It sounds badass. You're smoking a cigarette. But one thing that that you said is we gotta avoid people comparing and basing their policies and basing their reactions on what's happening in developed nations. Like Colombia is not considered a developed nation. So you can't model your response off of what's happening in a developed nation. So these numbers, I don't think.
Or there's another thing. Like I don't know where people are who are watching this now, but like the consequences, like both social and economic of this virus, are going to be so like tremendously different between a country like the United States or Colombia. Like the United States has has a certain like economic resilience.
Yeah.
That it has like an ability to bounce back, like the same with a lot of countries in Europe. But a country like Colombia doesn't have that resilience. Like it just needs like a minor slap, and it'll just
Crumble
fall to pieces.
But the reason to that is, and at least what I studied in University, which was just a few years ago, is that the United States is one of the only places, if not the only place in the world that can have a self-sustained economy. They've got fuel, they've got oil, they've got agriculture, they have medicine, they have everything. Most other countries are lacking some one of those. So they have to go somewhere. Obviously, the US, we're not going to get deep into politics, but they go to other places for economies of scale, and it just, lessens the burden. But at least what I studied back in business school was that the United States is one of the only places that can literally lock their borders and survive just fine with zero trade. And Colombia cannot. That, I don't know if you agree with that or what,
Well, Colombia does have basic resources. It's just when it comes to more advanced technology to keep up a certain economy. Like Colombia has enough agriculture to feed people. We have water supply, we got oil. However, when it comes to, for example, medical equipment, or that type of more advanced technology, then Colombia becomes dependent on trade with other countries.
Right. You just mentioned technology, medical technology. What do you know about the testing for the COVID virus in Colombia? Because it seems like the numbers that are being reported are very low compared to countries where testing is higher. What do you think about that?
I checked yesterday, and testing in the United States is per million inhabitants, 10 times as much happens 10 times as much as here.
Right.
So there's a major deficiency in data to form an accurate picture of how many people are infected. Right now, the numbers they are presenting are just
make no sense. They make no sense.
They're just they're just not true.
So let me
Wait. So there could be a lot of people that are infected that have very minor or no symptoms, but there's no testing available. So they're just spreading the fucking COVID.
There's no way to track those people, or to tell them look, you're infected, stay at home, please. But it's worse. I was reading just yesterday that the intensive care units in Bogota are currently at 84% of their capacity.
Yeah. Wow.
And I believe that was 27% the week before. And now the government wants to start opening the economy. Well, I'm not an expert, but to me that sounds like you'll see a collapse,
Yeah.
within no time. And this is where the government
Yeah.
pretends to be a first world nation, where it isn't. Because we the vulnerability of Colombia's healthcare system, or the fragility, is such that because you gotta imagine, if it collapses and you break your leg, well, fuck you.
You're fucked.
If you have a heart attack, or any type of emergency, not related to COVID, you get into a car accident, well, good fucking luck, you're fucked. And so the whole preventing the collapse of the healthcare system to me is well, not like it's so vital importance. Like if you don't have a healthcare system in the middle of a pandemic and nobody can count on any type of healthcare, then I don't even know what that's like.
Right.
I can't imagine like the tensions this would bring. Like imagine like your dad is having a heart attack and you bring him to a hospital and you don't want him to die, and the doctor says like, I'm busy, and you'll be like, yeah, you're busy my ass.
I agree.
My dad has to live.
Man, we don't even have to go there. We don't have to go there. I was in Canada. I had to take my mother to the emergency room, and she had 5, was it gallstones or one of those stones. But she was in pain, and my mother's a warrior. And if you have one, apparently, it feels like you're going to die. And she had 5. That's what we find out later. And I sat, and this is Canada, which has a great healthcare system. And we sat about 2 hours to the point where I got up and I was like, what the fuck? Like, my mother's going to fucking die here. Like, she's like peeling down on the ground. And we're talking about in Canada on a regular day. And actually a friend of mine said, these Instagram, what do you call those, influencers need to stop this shit of posting all their fancy shit online. Because I think, and this is something we're going to come to in a second about testing and the cost of testing, is that certain people can afford certain shit. And you can show how you can live in a nice spot, you can do your testing, and you can be safe. And one of the things that what I'm coming to is that I think you mentioned that here, if you wanted to get even tested, you can potentially, in Colombia, cut me if I'm wrong, buy a test for COVID. If you got the money for $100 US, you can do a quick test. But if you're poor and you're showing all the fucking signs, and a friend of mine who at this point is going through some financial troubles had to wait, I think, and she called like, I don't know how many times. And she waited over 5 days with all the symptoms.
I have found 3 laboratories where they are just selling COVID tests, like for prices between like $80 and $100.
Wow.
Without applying any medical or epidemiology, without any medical measure, if you just like feel insecure and want to be certain that that you don't have COVID today, because like tomorrow you still may get it.
Yeah.
Like you just pay $100 and you get tested.
Okay.
Now, clearly this is like a major waste of resources, because like these tests are there's a scarcity of these tests like on a global scale. In Colombia, obviously, even more. So like you really want to be very strategic in your testing and not waste like those reagents that you need to establish if someone has the virus. You don't want them to go to waste like just because someone feels squeezy. Like you really want to use them to identify cases, like or to identify a trend. And I don't believe that's happening.
So I just did some quick math on this. So you said you can get tested for $100 US. And if somebody, you can call me out of my math because this is like wine infused math, but 50 million people in this country If you wanted to test a tenth of them, it cost $500 million.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, obviously, it doesn't cost that much money. It doesn't cost that much money, like the actual test. The cost of it is much lower.
No, but I'm not,
But like
but I'm not looking at the test.
some laboratories are just making.
No. I'm talking about, and granted that the United States, for example, is a much more, it's a much richer country. We're talking, right? We're talking $100 per test. 10% of the
But
people.
that's what these places are selling them.
That's
on
what
the
they're
side.
charging.
On
That's
the
not
side.
the cost.
But the cost to them is cheaper.
Clear.
I'm talking about the fact that based on for example, the United States has a lot more money. They spend about 2.5 trillion dollars in economic stimulus. I'm talking about a testing. You could test the whole population, right? The entire population of this country. You could at least test 10% of the population for about $500 million. And that sounds like a lot to like the person on the street. But if you could test 10% of the population for $500 million, the US is talking, it's not a lot of money.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that ventilators are a much more important part of the COVID right now. And I wanted to ask Adriaan about, I saw that many of the universities here have been like on a race to create ventilators. And I've also heard reports.
We have been doing like stuff, like I have been doing amazing stuff, like the University of Antioquia. They assembled a team, and they've been creating like technology to come up with a working ventilator, which is really advanced technology, like within a month.
Yeah.
And which to me is like to me that's like sending people to the moon, you know, like in terms of human achievement. So you do see that like in Colombia there's been like a major that there have been people that have shown like the creativeness and the ability to adapt, to provide like crucial equipment, and Colombia now has the technology to build ventilators, which it never had, and it took them only a month.
I think they need to shift over to actual test equipment, right?
Well, the test equipment, like the capacity is there. The problem is that like the chemicals that you need, like the reagents. So like just like with cocaine, like you need like a chemical you put in cocaine and it turns blue, and then you know it's cocaine. Yeah. There's a shortage of reagents, but that's not a Colombian thing. That's just a global thing.
Okay.
And so what that's concerned, like all countries and Colombia more than others, simply don't have the chemical resources to do like a reliable number of tests that allow you to make wise decisions or informed decisions.
Right. Okay. I think Joel had another question, and then we can move on.
Well, actually, this had nothing to do with the actual testing. It was, there's a lot of foreigners here, and last week we talked about Brandon Sangming, the owner of Opa Asalo, getting robbed literally 3 days into the COVID crisis. And he was trying to help people. He had his restaurant open because he could, and he got a permit.
Yeah, I
Um,
had my bank card robbed too in the same process.
so what happened? You got robbed? What tell us about your robbery and how did that happen?
I don't know. I just got pickpocketed. Like I was at the effecti. I had just gone to the bank like to get money out to Santa Bogota, where we were trying to get people back into like because they were getting evicted by the fucking thousands, and we were just like me and a few other journalists were just trying to get people or families back into into their hotel and like make sure that they had money for food and shit. And someone just robbed my bank card like in the effecti office. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm lucky I still have my cedula. Like
Wait, how did they rob it? They just like pickpocketed you, or?
I suppose
Okay.
like 1 minute I had it, next minute I didn't.
Fuck me.
So one of the things I want to ask, and you know, obviously we can talk for hours, and unfortunately we got to keep like pressing on. One of the things that I want to know, you told me earlier when we chatted that about 85% of your listeners don't live in Colombia. So we're talking about, you know, 8 in 10 or 9 in 10 people are foreigners, Miami, New York, wherever, and 500,000 of them. So you're talking about 400,000 people in the United States, for example.
Well, usually like my visits are considerably low, obviously.
You said about half.
Yeah,
But wait, but right now they're tuning in.
like my the majority of my audience is abroad.
Exactly.
Um,
So my question to you is, because we talk about this, we try to help in our own ways. Because listen, it's about the we, man. It's about how we can help, how you're helping, how the other person's helping. Because people are starving. You call the number 1 in 4 can't potentially put food on the table. Now, what I want to know is if your viewers, even if 1% of your 500,000 people are looking on right now, how can people both here, I want to distinguish between the two, and outside of here, American Colombians or people that just love Colombia, how can they help what's going on in Colombia? How can they offer help? They've got people with money. They've got people with resources, with influence.
Yeah, that's a good question.
um, well, there's been a whole bunch of like citizen initiatives. So like me and my colleagues were collecting money, and making sure that people had food and shelter. Um, Today, like a Facebook page, um, like about food in Medellin started like setting up like its own thing, like to collect money. Um, so there's been a whole bunch of like citizen initiatives, but no, um, but it's all like improvised. So like the thing is that like you need to find them. There's no like coordinated effort I know of, um, to collect money from abroad and make sure that people get fed. If
Right.
people want to help, and I hope they do,
Right.
please like look for ways that you can help, like because people like are in desperate need.
Right. Um, I've got a question. By January of next year, of 2021, what do you think in your mind what Colombia will look like in regards to safety and tourism?
Not terrorism,
Tourism.
tourism. No terrorism.
I don't know, because like I don't know. Like the economy is still in free fall.
Yeah. Yeah, we see it.
and and we don't know, like a lot depends, like this is a global crisis. um, and what's happening in Colombia is also happening in Peru. It's also happening in Ecuador.
Right.
So like I don't think that like what I'm waiting for is like an international debate about like how there's going to be an international solution to this crisis, because you need to think about ways out, comparable to the New Deal or the Marshall Plan,
Right.
um, um, like where you somehow come up with a solution for an international problem.
So you think that we're like headed into you said the New Deal, into some sort of depression?
I wouldn't I don't know, but like this the this virus is not going to go away for another year and a half.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
and people are scared, and when people are scared, they will consume less, or they will consume differently. Like I would feel particularly squeezy about like getting into an airplane,
Yeah.
for example.
I would
like
too.
like be, because you don't know if there's infected people in there. You're like with an oxygen system that's closed. So I would be rather squeezy about that. And so like people's consumption patterns will change radically. And so like I and this is a global thing. And so and I think um that there will be at one point like an initiative to come up like with a global solution or a regional solution, or anything, because like if countries are just gonna go at it by themselves, like that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's futile.
Like if the whole world is in crisis, like Colombia won't be able to come up with policies and be like, hey, we're okay.
Right.
Like that's just not gonna happen. You somehow need a global or at least a regional kickstart, or a restart of of the economy. And I
Right.
don't think it's going to be the like I think we're going to be looking at like an entirely different or an entirely new economy. Like I think, like right now with the oil prices this low, for example, I don't see why the hell you would invest in oil.
Yeah.
Like I would say like, well, why don't we invest in other things instead? So I think that uh, certain companies are just gonna disappear, and there's going to be a shift in like what, like there's going to be a post and a pre and a post COVID economy, that I think are going to be profoundly different, similar to like the United States, like in the 1920s,
Right.
and like post World War II.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's pretty scary. For those of you guys that are joining us on Facebook, we're almost wrapping up. But anyway, we're live on Facebook, YouTube. We're recording this to be posted on YouTube. We're live with Adriaan from Colombia Reports, chief editor, founder of Colombia Reports, the biggest outlet of news in English in Colombia. And we're asking them questions about what the fuck's going on, man. I mean, we are confined to our space here in our apartment, and Joel and I, we're okay. We're able to work, but at the same time, we have employees. We've got like 10 employees, plus we help 2 other families that are Venezuelan, and we see what's happening out there. So it's something that we want to ask to Adriaan. That is, he's in tune with what's going on in Colombia as a whole. What's that? Well, and we want to appreciate the fact that you guys are tuning in to our live podcast, but this is going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, follow us on Facebook.
And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button if you're here. Where is it? Hit the goddamn...
Or maybe it's here.
Anywhere. Just hit a subscribe button. Follow us, check out...
Not only follow us, but follow Adriaan. We're going to put Adriaan's button there or somewhere there. Follow Adriaan on Colombia Reports. Make sure that you support, because he's a local source of information that, as he said, many of his readers are actually outside of Colombia. So if you're outside of Colombia and you're watching this, make sure to subscribe to Colombia Reports. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, Medellin podcast. Adriaan, we really appreciate you being on. We love the fact that you are here and telling us what's going on based on what you are finding. But I wanted to ask you a personal question. What's happening in your life? How has your life been altered by a corona, apart from the business? How do you feel about living in Colombia? Are you going to stay here? Are you going to leave? You're a foreigner.
I'm gonna stay.
Hell yeah, as our friend Leo would say. Hell yeah.
Well, like I live here. I've been living here for 12 years. I wouldn't know what to do in the Netherlands. I don't particularly like the Netherlands.
Garbage disposal.
You could be a garbage man.
Just throwing it out there.
Well, like but it's good. It's very weird. Like I only just woke up, for example. Like my entire like rhythm. Like I don't know what day it is.
You need to get on TikTok.
It's Saturday.
You gotta get on TikTok, man. You gotta do. Hey, man, you would be a hit on TikTok.
I'm 44. I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna give you. We're gonna make a small video.
You're 44. I'm almost 40.
God damn, why are you trying to like ageisms? Don't do ageism.
Does that mean that I'm gonna look like you at 44?
He has not stopped smoking. Really, we all right. We all right. Wait.
If you get hit with the COVID, you could have suffered because you smoke.
Yo. I got big shout outs. I'm gonna shout some people out now. I'm gonna shout out to Sara Hoyos, who actually talked to today. I'm an amazing artist. We're gonna throw up Felipe. You throw her contact up here. You need to check out her work. She's an amazing muralist, amazing artist. She's all her murals, obviously, that she had booked for this year got shut down because she's got to move to the digital world. But what we really want is for her to come and draw on this wall behind here while we talk about art. And I think her English is amazing. She doesn't think her English is amazing, but if she could put a little mic on, let's talk about some art. We'd love what's going to happen on this wall behind us. And then the other people that I really want to shout out, Laura and Mariana Serna, really good friends of ours. They have their own independent projects, them together, and they raised about 4.5, nearly 5 million pesos in funding. And that went 100%, not 30 to the people that needed it, to individual families around, and they did this in like couple days with their family. And there's people like this that are doing things now. And I'm gonna come to this a little later if all of us do our part. Sean at Ihamia Cafe. If you're in Medellin, if you're not, that's where we get our coffee. We drink the coffee daily. Tomorrow they're launching a new breakfast and brunch menu on Rappi. They're very, very serious about being sterile and whatever. But they've got really good menu going on. Really, really good. The best menu. The absolute best menu you've ever seen in your life. No one knows menus.
Nobody knows about menu.
Nobody
more
knows
than me.
menu. You?
Nobody knows more about more than me.
No, nobody knows menus better than me.
Oh, that comes to my next question to Adriaan. Adriaan, what do you think about Donald Trump?
Oh, fuck. Donald motherfucking dump.
Don't say
Trump.
that. That's my
Dump.
leader.
Well, I think he's hilarious.
Dave Chappelle and Donald Trump, comedians of the year.
Like I'm not an American, so I don't necessarily have to deal with the consequences of his comedy. but for me, it's a great source of entertainment.
Me too.
Me
I
too.
love the White House updates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm sorry for my American friends who are suffering the consequence of this asshole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
It's an
That's
embarrassment.
that's what we're trying to get to.
But it's not affecting me. Like he just gives me like when he tells people to inject or to ingest like disinfectant stuff. Like I'm just.
But he was
like,
being sarcastic, man.
But he was being sarcastic.
He's a sarcastic. I was just being sarcastic.
Wait, we brought some.
Wait. So
Yeah.
so we can
So,
spread some
we got
false.
some disinfectant that I'm gonna spray on Joel.
Those are my fucking eyes.
He's corona free.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit! That was directly into my.
He's corona
I am
free.
cured. I'm cured, motherfuckers.
I'm like a preacher.
That just went into my eyes, though. Seriously, the fuck
Yo,
out.
Adriaan, we really appreciate you being on with us. I hope that we can get you on live here.
More
when
and
we're
more.
back. I think Joel has one more question, or are we good?
No, I just wanted to know. I got a bunch of questions, but this is running out too fast. I'm gonna call a name that I want you to talk about, and I want you to talk about. Andrew just drank some disinfectant. Commander in Chief said he should. Richard Mccall. What's up with Richard Mccall? Richard Mccall is a brilliant writer. He wrote quite a few articles for us back in the day. And I know you call about your brothers in the struggle out in Bogota and other parts around. And Richard Mccall, who actually has an amazing podcast about Colombia, and he's a real writer, a real journalist. What's happening with Richard out in Bogota? What's he saying about Bogota?
Well, like Richard's also he also has like 2 hotels in Mompox.
Yep.
So Richard unfortunately is in a lot of trouble because like he's in the tourism business. Well, which makes me very sad because he's a really good friend.
An amazing guy, a family man, by the way. He's got a family.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But he's like one of many like who is facing elementary life choices, like whether he should stay here or leave, and I hope those answers will be coming quickly, because like it would be very sad, like a guy like Richard, he's done so much for Colombia, like with his entrepreneurship, with his writing, with his podcast.
Yeah.
He's been a major force for good. So it would be terribly sad if Colombia loses people like that, because like things go tits up.
So,
Like, I would personally be very sad if it happened.
so I'm gonna take this minute to talk about this really quick. Maybe this will become a mini clip. We need to save not just local businesses, we need to save foreign business. Somebody said that we are a minority here, meaning foreigners, so we got to be careful. And what is that on our podcast channel? I thought, like, I hate this we versus us concept, which at the closing statements I'll come to. But I think that there's people and there's businesses. Like, listen, if you're Colombian outside, if you're Colombian, if you're interested in Colombia and you want proper news, you want real reporting, we gotta support the people that are doing this. And as you were talking, I thought, like, hey, I could afford to give double what I'm giving to Colombia Reports on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
At
literally,
least
even if it's only $5.
Exactly. I could
doesn't
up it.
matter.
I could up it, and I'm gonna up it. I swear to God, I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna
up it from 0.
I'm gonna up. You're gonna up it. I'm gonna up it. We're gonna up it. We're all gonna up it. We're all gonna up it. I'm the best upper you've ever seen that's upped it. But I'm gonna up it. And I think if anybody should just, we're gonna put this in the description. If you want to up it, Colombia Reports needs to survive this shit, because everybody outside and Adriaan told me a lot of people syndicate, which means basically take his news, repurpose it, and put it out there. So we need good news. We don't need Adriaan on the phone all day that he can't afford people out in the field. He can't afford to keep the lights on. We have to support this for those of you who really care about English news coming out of here. The other guy, Richard Mccall, look him up. An amazing writer. He's a journalist. He's a talented fucking dude, man. These people need not just to keep their lights on, but for people not to go by fake fucking news. Because Donald Trump and his folks and other folks, and I don't want to make this about politics, let's call any other person that you want.
Even Netflix.
Netflix.
Don't let Netflix be your source of news.
No, get real fucking news.
It's really important that we, like if I may, like, journalism has the function of journalism is that guys like Richard and I, or the Bogota Post, for example, that we provide you with verified information that allows you to make decisions or form opinions based on verified information.
Yeah.
And not only does this help, should this help you personally, take better decisions, it should also help to keep society together. And the whole thing with fake news is that it's creating divisions that are threatening the very social fabric of society. Look at your country, the United States.
Not my country, Andrew's country.
It is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is based on people just being badly informed.
Yeah. I guess finishing off, first of all, thank you guys for joining us live. If you are live, if you're watching the recorded version, make sure that you subscribe to Medellin Podcast and to Colombia Reports. We have it in the description as well. I have a question. As far as you being a reporter in Colombia, I mean, that's some big shit. Nobody grows up to say, nobody in the Netherlands or in the United States, I'm Colombian American. And I've never said, one day I'm going to grow up to be a fucking reporter in Colombia.
Yeah.
That's some big balls.
It's a lot of big balls.
That's big balls.
Big balls. I don't have those balls.
Because
And I know about balls. I got balls.
I've got like
I got cherries.
my balls are about that big. No, they're about that big.
But I know about
Yours
balls.
have to be huge because you are a reporter in Colombia. Do you ever fear for your life as a reporter in Colombia?
Yeah. Oh, of course. I've received death threats, and I've been harassed like by corrupt people in government, like with my visa and stuff. So there's always like retaliations, like when you piss people off. But that's kind of like part of the game. Like I believe that
Wow.
personally, I believe that what I do serves a purpose.
It does.
So like my job gives me like a sense of purpose in life, which is like what allows me like to well to accept that type of retaliation because like it's kind of worth it.
Can you tell us about a death threat? Tell us about a threat. How do they do it? How do people threaten the main English source of news that comes out of a country, a Netflix country? This is a Netflix country.
I don't want to talk about the specific.
No, but not about the specific. Like, how does somebody say you're fucking dead? Like, are they writing you by email and being like, you need to cut off what you're saying right now or else? Or you don't got to get into this the specific detail, but what happens?
Well, in one case I got an email. In another case, it happened differently. In my case, it's like I would say, like it was just people not thinking about what they were saying, or just being really emotional or whatever.
No, but wait, are you talking about these guys because I don't get death threats yet. Andrew doesn't get death threats yet, but
Only from ex-girlfriends.
they come on this channel.
Just this danger.
Just the thing.
even more.
Just the thing. A woman scorned. A woman scorned. No, but it's like we don't get death threats. We get like haters and stuff like that. But so how do you respond to that? You're like, okay, sir, I'm just going to retract what I said. I'm just going to say it's okay for Georgia to open up their economy.
In one case, I sent him my address and I said like, oh, here's where I live.
You see, we said big balls, right? Big balls.
that
Look,
is
fucking
big
big
balls.
balls.
Here's
Not big
where I
fucking donkey
live.
balls. No, I'm not sending nobody my address. I
So
live.
lives at Carrera
But it's like
43, número-
here's the thing, like a lot of times it's like just like trying to intimidate,
Yeah.
like while there's no like real intention to not in all cases, but like in many cases, like it's just like trying to intimidate me into shutting up,
Yeah.
Right.
and that apparently never worked. So it's not something I'm like. There was one instance where I was like really concerned, but in other cases I just laugh about it. Like there's just a lot of people like saying shit.
Yeah, they're just bored.
Cunts. We call them cunts.
Can you say cunts in your reporting?
I can say whatever I want.
Say it.
Just a bunch of cunts.
I'm not particularly worried about those daft cunts.
No, but just say.
Oh.
Wait. I'm back up. Say it again.
That I'm not particularly worried about those daft cunts.
Okay,
That's
you
what
fucking
I'm
daft
talking
cunts.
about.
I'm talking to you right now. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna wrap this up with final thoughts. I got some final thoughts. I don't know. Andrew's got some final thoughts. He probably wants to get into the crown. And Adriaan has some final thoughts. Personally, what I'd like to see, I don't know how long this lockdown's gonna last. They say May 11th. I don't know. It's May 11th, maybe it's longer, maybe it's not longer. I don't know. It's fucking May 11th. But regardless if it's May 11th, I want Adriaan to use this as a platform for like the 12 people or 3 that watch this to say whatever the fuck he wants to say right now. And then Andrew's going to say what the fuck he wants to say. And I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. So Adriaan, say what the fuck you want to say.
Tell us, what do you want to say?
What I want to say is that, like given the current crisis, like I really think it's important that we show solidarity between each other, and that we don't allow ourselves to be divided between like a we and us. So I would really call on everyone to just be nice to each other.
Yeah.
And like there's going to be troubled times ahead. Like we're going to need each other. And I believe it's like of vital importance that we actively take part in acts of solidarity.
Right.
100%.
I agree with that, man. Yeah. I love what you just said, because it kind of correlates with what I was thinking. I think that in this time of crisis, you have to be introspective. You have to think about yourself, what you can do to better yourself, to project out to the world. And something that I've been doing is playing more guitar. I've been trying to learn more things, and I've been trying to give more, because I've been fortunate enough. My family and Joel and Adriaan now knows that I've been fortunate enough that my work doesn't stop right now. I keep working and I keep making money. But that doesn't mean that I have to stop giving. And what Adriaan was saying is so true, that we have to be more giving, in my opinion, more giving now than in Christmas, than Thanksgiving, than any other time, because there's a lot more people in need. And if I can give more, I will. And if I can't, I'll find a way to give more. Whether it means that I'm going to donate to Adriaan's Colombia Reports, whether it means I'm going to donate to Laura Serna and Mariana Serna and her cousin that are doing great things out there on the street. I know Joe Vogli is involved with a orphanage. If it means that I can just give $1 or 10 pesos, 10,000 pesos, it doesn't matter. I think we have to step up as a community of foreigners, even though I'm a Colombian national and citizen.
As citizens, like if we don't take care of each other, like some of us are going to be in trouble. So like it's really important that we help each other and make sure that we all are okay.
Right. Even if it's like donating the guy that's the bum that walks across your house. I mean, we live in Colombia, man. I see bums like at least 5 to 10 times coming across my house. Why not have a little package ready for them to throw down from my fucking 5th balcony? It's something that is unprecedented. It's novel. We've never lived through this in our lifetimes, and our children will probably never live through this. But we have to set examples. We have to be the example for future generations coming forward. We have to help each other. We have to support each other, whether it's, you never know what the other person is suffering. You cannot judge a book by their cover. You cannot see someone driving in a car and think, oh, they're okay. Maybe they're not. Maybe their whole family is depending on that Uber ride that he's giving. So let's try to give back to the community and somehow.
I agree. I'm gonna close it off with my like. It's gonna be 18 minutes, so fucking just get comfortable. Firstly, a lot of people are watching a lot of porn. I don't know if you've Googled
Wait, what?
Medellin porn, because I have not. I've not. done
Adrian,
that.
are you watching a lot of porn?
No more than usual.
No more than usual. So what? So here's my advice, man.
More than usual.
Yo, I'm alone. I could watch porn. I could do all sorts of fucked up shit to myself. The only person I'm hurting is me. If you out there sneak into the bathroom and you're doing a whole bunch of dirty shit, and then you're gonna go up to your girlfriend and pretend like that's the real world, it's not. That's Corona porn. I heard Pornhub is on like a premium membership. Please be careful, brothers. You could hurt yourself and you could hurt your woman. Women, don't hurt your man. So that's on like a very like a base level, practical advice level. So don't hurt yourself with all this free porn that's going around. And then and then the second part, and I wrote it on my Facebook a few days ago after listening to the President of the United States,
The greatest country in the world.
the Prince of Life, the person who's never gotten a more negative test than any negative test on coronavirus. I just want to say this. It's not political, but he makes me know that there are people like this out there. This is the time. Listen, some people can give with money. Some people can give with their brain. It's a time of fucking giving, people. Like, you really need to like take an inventory of the people in your life and the people in their life and understand how you can help. And this is not about we. The president of the United States kept throwing out this they, and it's perpetuating this message of us versus them. We're all the same. I'm darker than you are. You're lighter than me are. You're richer than I am. You're taller than I am. But at the end of the day, we're the same fucking people. And the coronavirus and any other virus that comes here is not going to discriminate on our height or race or anything. They're going to take us. It's going to take us. It's going to take us. So my thing about this is that, like honestly, think about the people you interact with and think about what the fuck they're going through. Forget you for a second. You'll be fine. I'll be fine. Andrew will be fine. We're fucking survivors. And if you, whoever's listening to this right now, has a problem with money, we're not just going to shell money out. You can ask Donald Trump for that, but we might shell a little bit out. But like, if you have a problem, if you're depressed, if you're like, you got mental health issues, you got substance abuse issues or whatever, and you honestly need people to fucking talk to right now, man, this is the shit right now. Talk to us right now. This is about we gotta pass this. I could get past this, and if all of you are fucked up, I'm fucked up because I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. It's about fucking we, man. So if anybody's listening to this, comment here, subscribe. Don't fucking subscribe. Just let's figure out how to at least move. And remember that movie, Pay It Forward? Pay It Forward. Let's pay it forward, man. Let's move some shit.
Adrian, what are your closing thoughts? Let's wrap this up. Anything that you want to tell the people that are watching live and that are watching the recorded version?
Well, no, I'm very happy hearing that, like that we are so much in agreement about the importance of like being part of solutions. Like we either need to think of solutions, contribute to solutions, and we need to do so collectively. So I'm pleasantly surprised that we are so in understanding about how we need to confront this.
I love that, man. Thank you for being on the show. My name is Andrew Messia. He is Adrian. He is Joel Duncan. And we are the Medellin Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the Medellin Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to Colombia Reports. We want you guys to listen, and we're going to get through this together. Whether it's making live episodes for the rest of our fucking lives, it doesn't matter, man. We want to get through this together, and we want to help you guys, and we want to help Colombia Reports. Thank you, Adriaan, so much for being on. You were an awesome guest. Probably one of my favorites. And Joel, what do you got?
I got my bicep. It's over here. It's one of my favorite guests. I've been working on that. Just look at that, really. Okay, now, apart from my bicep, thanks, Adriaan. Thanks for being here. I just needed to show it up.
Thanks for the invite.
When we get back to normal or semi-normal, you're going to be sitting right here. And we're going to be doing
He can't smoke here, though. He can't smoke up in this motherfucker.
No, he can smoke.
No, he cannot smoke.
It's Adriaan from fucking
No, we're going to
Colombia
put one of them
Reports.
fucking N95s.
Adriaan from Colombia
Adrian's going to
Reports
wear a
can
motherfucking
smoke in our
You cannot
apartment.
smoke in my motherfucking... You see that shit? You can't...
Joel, it's Adriaan from Colombia Reports.
You see his
can
big
smoke
jerk off?
in our
You see that big
apartment.
forearm? That's only jerking off, and he's not doing that in our studio.
Adriaan,
Thanks for tuning
you so
in.
much,
Thank
man.
you, everybody.
We love you. Medellin, we love you. Colombia, we love you. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
I love you,
of the
Andrew.
Medellin Podcast.
You love me?
What?
If you want to see Andrew in a skinny leopard print thong, please be sure to follow us and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, or any other major podcast platforms. And Andrew, if they want to see your ugly faces, what should they do?
They can see us on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube for show.